Anna, hi. So this one feels a little bit scary because this video I want to be as honest and as authentic I can be about a subject that is close to my heart. So I posted a dance video that's called I'm Not Okay by Jelly Roll. And I was dancing to it, and I think I put the link into the description. I just wanted to talk about that a huge part of self-silencing is pretending to be okay when we are not, which is somehow what we have been taught, unfortunately, very much in society. Most people don't really want to hear how you are feeling. And it is kind of something to consider, isn't it? I have various spaces, unfortunately, with very close people I can't be real with because I'm going to be invalidated, I'm going to be gaslit, I'm going to be put down. So I pretend, I literally have to pretend that I'm fine. And it's very easy to transfer that to other spaces because we are so afraid of being a burden to anyone. But at the same time, I started listening to the audiobook by Miranda Hart. I haven't been entirely honest. And one of her first things she said was she calls them treasures, that it was important for her to learn to share how she was really feeling and to learn to ask for help. So Miranda also has been dealing with debilitating chronic illness, Lyme disease. So she's a fellow, chronic health sufferer, or however you want to call it. I want to make clear that I'm doing a lot of things to recover, and I know it is possible, but this is at the moment not what this is about. It is about that somehow we are being taught to run around and pretend that everything is fine. And people who are always positive and, are fun to be with, they are applauded. And then we are shocked, literally shocked. Then those apparently very optimistic, positive people all of a sudden commit suicide because they didn't have any space they felt safe enough to turn to. Shame on society that is so sick that it doesn't have any space for people who are really suffering or who's just dismissing a whole bunch of emotions. And I do think that it is our task to somehow be more honest, have the courage to say when we are not okay. I am not okay. I am struggling every single fucking day with a myriad of difficult physical things that also impact emotional well-being. And at the same time, I am very resilient and I am strong. I don't need anyone to come to me and fix me and give me any kind of advice I haven't asked for. I don't need that. But I for sure, most of the time, feel left alone with this. I have times where I literally don't know who to talk to, and then I go to PI, that is an empathic AI that talks to you. And I think, my God, I do get it. I think it's great to have that tool, but it's also very sad to see that because I'm not the only one, right? There's millions of people like me who have the feeling they don't have anyone to turn to. And maybe the friends even don't have an idea how much that person is struggling because vicious cycle, we are kind of, pretending to be fine, or we are kind of, for example, when I go to Feldenkrais, I'm so happy to see people that I'm, making jokes. I'm happy. Nobody knows what's going on. At the same time, the one thing doesn't dismiss the other. And it is really difficult to decide how much to share, because I really don't need any advice, as I've said before. I don't need any fixing. Most people really don't. And so I understand it why we are so stoic and pretend that things are fine, because if we take that risk to show up and say, listen, this is shit, and I've been in this for over a decade, and when the pandemic for you guys finished, the lockdowns, I'm still in it. I'm still feeling isolated. I'm still kind of wondering what I can do. I want to go to the 5 rhythms and then I don't feel well enough to do it. I have to postpone a doctor's appointment because I'm not well enough to drive myself all the way to Portimao. And I feel like, who do I ask? Can I ask someone? I have friends, lovely friends, who disappear on me for weeks, because they have their own stuff going on, for example. And I need kind of more regular contact and people who just come and do nice things with me. And so we live in that society that hasn't learned to go to people who are struggling to say, what do you need? What can I do for you? Or do you just need a hug? Do I need to listen to you? What is it? For example, I think one of the worst things you can do is trying to rescue and fix someone. And because most of us are so uncomfortable with our own emotions, with our own suffering, we are running away from like crazy. We can't bear anyone else's suffering. But when you are in a situation like, dealing with physical things, you have to face up to it. There's no way around it. I think you just have to. And most of us who are dealing with those things are the most empathetic people I know, because we know what it means to deal with something that doesn't go away so easily day in, day out. I just want to say that, for me, why I'm doing the work I'm doing, I want people to feel seen and heard, and I want people to feel encouraged enough to share their own stories, and because it is important. It is a part of belonging, is that we find the courage to share what's going on with us, and we just have to normalize certain things, It is not my fault that I'm in this situation. I didn't choose to deal with toxic environments from childhood onwards. It's not my choice that I'm dealing with really very debilitating autoimmune conditions and so on and so forth. And it's not my fault that I feel isolated and let down, and that there isn't enough support. It's not my fault, and I'm not taking it on anymore. And we just need to be more aware that there are millions, as I've said, millions of people who are dealing with this, who are not being taken seriously, who are not being seen, who are not being left, and who are only living a half life, like where you literally don't know anymore which day is which, and where it feels shaming when we see our friends' photos who are doing all these great things apparently. Oh, I have been here, and this weekend I've been here. Whereas people like me are day in, day out, most of the time left to their own devices. And that's also why I think it is so important to find creative expression, right? And to lean into your purpose, even though maybe everything else might not be happening for you anymore. But to find that expression, that's also why I'm doing the dance videos, to find your expression where you don't have to smile all of the time, to come out of that hiding space, because it's not on no level not doing anything good for us. And I think that we deserve to be heard with our stories, and we deserve to be taken seriously. It's human. We are not broken. We are having a human, difficult experience that can be and should be validated. What kind of value is that? Kind of running around busy all of the time and being this overly positive person. There's no realness to it whatsoever. Right, so I will finish with, I got this book today. Oh, it's the other way around. It's called Thriving as an Empath, and it has every day something. And I would like to, because I find it fitting, I would like to read something to you from this. It's called I Am Enough. I am enough. I don't have to prove my worth to anyone. I don't have to be someone I'm not. I don't have to pretend I'm not sensitive or smile when I'm unhappy. I'm pleased with myself. I love myself. I'm grateful for the opportunity of my life. So this was a longer one and more vulnerable one, and I really would love to invite you to share your own story if you want to in the comments, and tell me how you are, and to tell me you're not okay if there is some. That's Anja. Join me on the journey from hiding to thriving as an artist. And by the way, the next free online gathering, Dreamy Cappuccino, for a small group of people is coming up soon, 3rd of November, I think, and there's still spaces left. I will put the link in the description. Take good care. Bye-bye.